Looks like we got the bell. Let's check out some stuff. Have you guys been watching CMGO at all? This thing beasts day after day after day. They have a supposed dividend coming up here in July, so that's why it keeps creeping up.
I want to give credit to CIFI for GWBU. He was calling it off of its bottom. He said, look, man, this thing got hammered down way too much. I think that was around 18, 19 cents. Correct me if I'm wrong, CIFI. You can feel free to chime in anytime. But GWBU up to 28.3, up another 15% today.
I love CIFI. We're always like trying to catch the big promotion plays before the promotions actually hit. CIFI's always rolling and making bank on them after they tank when the promotions end. It's so funny.
Oh,
There's so many ways to play them. It's great, though.
It's hilarious. He did the same thing on AERS. He's like, wait, watch for this thing to pull back and just play it for a 30 to 50% bounce. Sure enough, he rocked it on AERS. Same thing on GWBU. I got Sure hitting my radar out of the gates here. That's SURE. It's up 46% on 85,000 shares. Terrible spread, 16 by 22. They need to tighten that up. Last trade at 22 cents.
Nice. I got a UBRG on my radar. We just went over that news with the 20% special stock dividend. Up 6% out of the gates. 1.24 cents is the last trade. Got about 300,000 shares sitting there on the what was 300,000 shares at 1.24. Now it's a 1.2 by 1.25 spread. Looks like they're trying to hold her back a little bit here at this 1.3 mark.
Don't sleep on Apple, folks. Apple doing its thing, baby. Waiting for those earnings. She's popping here. 602.35 currently. And I'm anticipating this thing's going to continue to climb into its earnings. I don't know if they're going to be having good earnings or bad earnings, but I'm just playing it for a flip into those earnings. Just like an FDA play. We play it for a flip into the announcement, and that's what we're doing here, folks, with these earnings. Next week's going to get seriously crazy with all these earnings coming up. I don't know, CIFI, that's his world. I don't know where he is today. If he's probably knee-deep in the trades. That's why we're not hearing much out of his side. But needless to say, he'll be talking later once he gets his head out of these trades, and we'll talk about those earnings that we got coming up. I think it's called Alcoa or something like that.
Alcoa International.
603. Apple is just climbing away here. High a day of 603.26. And currently she's at 602.57, 602.76. Just a monster past week. And I'm in the 610 calls. And currently they're going for 91 cents. I got in them last week around the 60-cent mark, so I'm up 50% on those calls. You know, CIFI said, hey, just go in light, you know, test the waters, just get a couple contracts. This way, in case it dips, you can load the boat and get in some cheaper ones. Well, no, I just decided to go all in, gung-ho. That's how I do it. And I picked up 10 contracts, threw like $600 at it, and look at this thing go. Now the contracts are up to 93 cents. You know,
that is your style.
You know what's looking decent out of the gate is BBDA. She just broke that 0023, which was a key resistance level. I'd like to see it get above that 0023 and hold above it now.
Huh. Yeah, I'm BBDA definitely for that bounce. That was way oversold. CRPZ Convenience TV 0012 by 0013 now. We got a few 5,000 share market makers who probably aren't showing their true size on 0013. Bid Sport, we got about 3.5 million sitting there on 0012 now, up 9.1% last trade at 0012. Just over 3 million shares so far.
Apple, woo! Here she goes, baby. New high a day. 603.96 is the high a day. She just punched through 604. We got a runner, folks. Love playing these Apple options. God, it's like crack. Once CIFI turned me on to it, I've been addicted.
Yeah, buddy. I'm going to be joining you guys soon here. I think I'm going to make an options trade this week.
That's what I told myself for about 2 months. Finally, once I went in, I started this about, it's only been about a month and a half maybe that I've been trading these options, and I've been learning a lot, putting in these stop losses. I never really traded with a stop loss. I always did a mental stop, and I'm going to go in here right now, and I'm going to put in a trailing stop on my calls to make sure that I lock in at least my 100% profit. So right now the calls are going at 133, and I'm going to put a 20-cent trailing stop on it. It's at 137 right now. So that means if it goes down to $1.17, they're going to take me out.
Oh boy. I like this. CIFI's rubbing off on you a little bit now.
That's right.
This can get scary when you two are both dominating these options trades. You guys won't miss a beat.
Woo! Man, Apple's just flying here. Love it. We just follow the trends, dude. The trend is your friend. We saw this thing beasting. You know, the market was tanking. Apple's dictating its own price, and it was just rocking in the beginning of the week. And I said, you know what, this thing's going to gap up on Thursday, and it's going to continue to run. We're probably going to see 610 on Thursday, and sure enough, we're about halfway there. Closed at 599 on Friday, closed near the high of day, and we're up to 605.16 right now. We're probably going to hit 610 today, and then all of a sudden my 610 calls are going to start seeing in the money. Once we get over 610. Then I'm going to really start compounding those gains. But I'm definitely going to be looking to lock some profits in here in the first half an hour, and then I'm going to be looking to reload it on a pullback. Wow, the 5-minute chart on Apple is just rocking. It's all green candles so far.
I don't know what's going on with LTTC. But that one's got to be rolling across your scanner. Lattice Incorporated, this sucker's up 166.7%. Last trade, 24 cents for like 430,000 volumes so far. My first inclination is either a big promotion coming very soon or some sort of news that I'm not seeing quite yet. I'm going to go check and see if I can find anything here. But that's some big volume in the first 10 minutes there. That's for dang sure.
I just put my trailing stop in for a 20-cent stop. So right now the options are going at 142. So if it dips down to 122, they're going to take me out. I can't hate 100% profit, man. I can't hate on that. Overnight. Yeah, that LLTC was hitting my scanner. I almost mentioned it about 5 minutes ago, but I'm just so glued.
Hey, man, you keep rolling about your options.
I understand why CIFI gets quiet on us sometimes, because it's tough not to stay glued to these things because they're so volatile and they move so quick at the drop of a dime. Boom, like they're taking it down now. Those contracts were up as high as $1.59. These are the 610 weekly calls. Now they're going at 122 by 123. So it looks like I might get stopped out here. Let me see if my order just executed. Yep, I got stopped out. I only put a limit in for half of my shares, so I'm still holding the other 5 contracts.
Lattice up to 35 cents now. Up 11 cents from about a minute ago when we mentioned it. This thing is going nuts. Up 290% right now. The current spread is 35 by 48 cents. 48 cents is getting hit now. Up 400%, 45 cents. 584,000 volume. This has got to
be somebody's email. Yep, I knew it was.
Who'd you get? Well,
yeah,
you don't have to mention.
One of those guys that's a crazy whack job.
One of those guys.
Yep, so just keep that in mind. There's
Oh, I wouldn't touch this thing. That's just me personally, though. Yeah, this is beastly. I don't know, maybe there's like a short squeeze going on or something.
Congrats, Sumo. Whee!
Yeah, bud.
Good stuff, man.
I'm going to be looking to buy it back later and play it for another flip.
I dumped mine at $1.50.
I was just gonna say that CIFI's. I just took my profits off the table.
Well, I took him a
Hello,
little bit.
guys.
I
How's
took
it
him
going?
while he was talking and he was rushing, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys to.
Lock him in, baby. Lock him in.
All right.
But don't expect for this thing to pull back. This thing is. I mean, anybody that follows us, they know my my plan on Apple. But here we go. Sure is fun when it works out.
RXII, that's that other pharmaceutical play that we mentioned earlier in the week. It's up another 9% today. Last traded at 21.9. That's up 2 cents on the day.
RXII. Huh?
Yes, if you give me a pat on the back when I need one. Come on here.
It's like UBRG busted that 1-3 mark that I was saying looked like it wanted to be a little bit of resistance there. 1-3 by 135 right now. 400,000 volume. Up 15.4%. CRPZ is now 0013 by 0014. That 0012 mark always seems to be a mental resistance on these super sub-penny plays for whatever reason. Sitting pretty good. What's going on? You guys even make more? More?
Yeah, those 610 calls just hit $1.74.
I mean, you can see there on the screen, Peeps even had a chance to get in. The thing traded down. It hit a low of 41 cents. A high of $1.74. What a beast. Who needs penny stocks, boys? I'm just saying. I mean, hello.
What were they
nuts.
talking about? What were they talking about on CNBC the other day? Wasn't Pete Najarian saying?
Oh, yeah, they were saying that the hottest trade, gift from God, was Apple options weeklies.
Well, folks, we're giving it to you as you know, the best as it is here. You know, the best traders in the world are making money on these stocks, and we're in it to win it. Nothing like banking with us.
In it to win it. I like it.
Let's see what else is hitting the scanner on the OTC side of things.
I see who is pumping LTTC. Gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it.
SNGX, Solagenics. It's up 33%. Last traded at 39.9. Terrible spread, 33 by 39.9. Wow, Apple is just uncontrollable.
All right, let's see what else we got shaking on the old data. Your Babita's stepping up a little bit here. Last trade 0023, just under 7 million in volume, up 4.55%. Man, Coho has been getting lots of action lately too. Let's check that guy out. On the level 2 here, 0011 by 0012 spread. Got about 4.5 million support on 0011. Just under 2 million. Oh, actually now about 270,000 shares on 0012. Looks like it's going to head up into 0013, which it just did. Getting hit. They got news up 33.3%. 36 million shares traded so far today. Current spread 0012 by 0013. Let's go check out that news. Looks like Coho partners with #1 national wholesale distributor. These guys make hunting blinds. Let's see here. Hicks Incorporated. the #1 national wholesale distributor of fishing, hunting, marine, archery, and other outdoor products, has placed its second order this season with Cooper Hunting Incorporated. Wow, that's pretty good news there for Coho. Getting hammered right now. In a good way. What are those options trading at now?
$2.02 by 210. 217 up, 218 up. The high is 211. I just put in another stop for the rest of my shares. Even though I'm riding freebies right now, I'm going to be looking to take profits into this rally and buy in on a pullback during the middle of the day.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys are killing it. CIFI's right. You can make. You guys are making bank on those, man. You can look for 10 baggers and penny stocks where you're taking on. Well, I guess I shouldn't say there's no risk in options, but as long as you know what you're doing, you can kind of protect your downside pretty well there with you guys just trailing stop losses. So that's pretty sweet.
Oh, this is a lot of fun. I'll tell you what. Nothing beats it.
Oh yeah, don't you know?
The liquidity is there. It's just very easy to get in and out and see those big gains.
UBRG, another uptick. 1.37 by 1.4 cent spread now. We got a few 100,000 sitting there on the ask at 1.4, it looks like.
22 trades on the day on UBRG, and that's 595,000 shares traded. Looks like I'm stopped out, and I'm out of my options. Made a nice, cool $1,000 profit today. Gambling with $600. Nothing like making close to 200%, baby.
Do that a couple times a week and you go.
Okay, let's look for the discount here. Let's see where these 610 calls want to pull back to and find support. What are you thinking, CIFI? You going to be looking to get in on a pullback and play it again, or what?
Of course.
I know you're not done.
Man, we got earnings coming up. I'll be playing this every single day. This is all I play, except for tomorrow. I will mix it up with SPY, just because of expirations Friday. You get to basically control the last 2 digits. It's amazing. Same with Apple tomorrow. I mean, towards the middle of the day, going to the end of the day, you're controlling the last 2 digits of Apple. I mean, come on, guys. Literally, me and Sumo, put it this way. Sumo on, what was it, Tuesday, he put that trade on for $700. Sumo controlled over $500,000 of Apple. Figure it out. This isn't rocket science. It's just a blessing from God, like the Nigerian brother said. Right?
Yes, sir. All right, so those 610 calls are pulling back right now. They're $1.57. They were as low as 41 cents, hit a high of $2.11. BBDA back up to 0024. If it can hold support at 0023, I think she has a shot at working her way back up to the 003 range.
Pretty decent support there on the 0023. You got about 2 million shares sitting there through 3 market makers. 0024, another hit. There's about 1.5 million left on the ask there. Some good volume, 8 million shares. Up 9.1% on the day.
Ooh, nice slaps.
Are going to go there. Good stuff.
You guys probably talked about it, knowing me, but 53 times average volume, LTTC.
Yes, sir. Big promotion going on there.
Oh, I knew you guys talked about it. Okay, how about SBFM?
No, we didn't talk about that today.
Okay, well, it's hitting the scanner. Sunshine Biopharma. 36 by 38.
It's retire early's play.
Nice. Well, you look at it daily here. She's breaking out of that 200 MA. So keep your eye on this one.
All right, I'm going to start scaling back in here on these calls. I just picked up 2 contracts at 141. Looks like I'm coming in a little bit early, but I'd rather scale in here. I think if it can hold support at 604, we could see a turn here in Apple. Just looking at the 1-day 5-minute chart.
Yeah, SBFM, Sunshine Biopharma, they have a real nice share structure. More of an early stage biopharm play that would be. They're still in preclinical phase. They haven't even started testing their main drugs on humans yet. But they did apply to the FDA with some positive results to do just that and start the phase 1 clinical trials. But with the current share structure, really low market cap, this one could be a real long-term gem or a short-term trade. But as we all know, these smaller biopharms need money to proceed through clinical trials, so it just matters on that balance between dilution and letting the stock run a little bit and what prices they actually raise money at. 40's up on the ask now. Just hit. High a day, up 25%. 65,000 shares traded.
Looks like Apple's holding 604, back to 605s here.
BBDA, high a day, up on the ask at 0026. 13.7 million shares traded. 0025 by 0026 spread. She's a mover.
Light volume, too, in comparison to how much volume cranked up through that stock. Going into the interview that we had and the day of the interview, it was trading, half a billion shares a day those couple days, and now the volume's kind of tapered off. We've seen it trading in the 10 to 50 million shares a day here, and she's still moving up, so I like that activity.
Yeah, level 2 shifting. She's going to bust a 2.6 here in a second. I mean, that was just classic, People, the CEO comes out and says, oh yeah, we're releasing the biggest news ever for the company on Thursday at 10 a.m. So you're going to get hyped up to that point, and once people hear the news, if the stock doesn't move 100% instantly, everyone who got in for a trade, which was probably a lot of people, just dumped, got out, moved on. And, we're definitely going to see this bounce start to happen now. And some of that better news starting to sink in a little bit.
Looks like those 610 calls, I might have timed it right at a good spot there. I picked up a couple contracts at around $1.39. Currently they're $1.47 up on the offer. Let's see if Apple can hold around the 605 and hold support here.
Coho, 45 million shares traded now. High a day up on the ask at 0014. Hasn't been touched quite yet. There's a nice little HDSN order sitting there for 9.5 million shares at that 0014 ask as we see a whack down to 0012 by 0013 here.
I'll tell you what, man, this week has really surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be such an exciting week, and we've been having a lot of fun, a lot of good calls, and a lot of money being made here.
That's what I like to hear.
Low volume, high volatility we're in right now. BBDA is moving up the scanner. 55 trades on the day, 15.4 million shares traded, up 18%.
Yeah, she's starting to thin out a little bit now, so if she starts getting some volume, she might move a little bit easier.
Like I said, if it can hold its support at 0023, then she should be looking good. That was a previous resistance going into today. And if that can hold as support, I think we can take on those 003s again, maybe test that recent high at 0039. She's chewing through those 0026s like a hot knife through butter. Well, boys, we're approaching the 10 o'clock mark. What do you say we wrap it up?
Sounds good to me, man. I got some stock research to do now that I'm back and in full swing of things while this market's open here. But definitely a pleasure to be back. And it's good to know that you guys are killing it as usual in my absence. Killing it again today on the Apple options. And I might just have to play one of these options with you guys one of these days. I know I keep saying that, but I might have to join you.
Here goes Apple again, 605.42. Those 610 calls are up to $1.55. I marked my entry at $1.39. Said, hey guys, I'm coming back in. And here we go. She's off. BBDA busting through the high of day here, 0026. A lot of good-looking things out there. We're going to go back to trading. Thanks for tuning in to STT Radio. We'll be back tomorrow to wrap up the week. And we're out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.